Hey, this is Chris, and I'm here to share with you the Bible 101 for Genesis chapter 1, aka the creation story. And I have 5 things that I want to share with you. Number 1, water is chaos. At the beginning of this story, before anything is created, the Spirit of God is hovering over the waters, and it's this formless void. And throughout the Bible, water is this symbol of uncreation or chaos. It was something that people feared. And you will see throughout the Old Testament, whether it is the floods coming onto earth in the story of Noah and the ark, or the waters crashing down on the Egyptians when the Red Sea is parted, or when Jonah's thrown down into the deep. Those are pictures of uncreation and chaos trying to sort of infringe upon the world. And it's different from God bringing order into the world as God does in this creation story. All right, number 2, there are actually 2 creation stories. You may have been reading this passage and been wondering, wait, I thought that when humans were created, the man was created first and he named all the animals and he couldn't find one, and so then God took the rib out of the man and created a woman. That's in the second creation story, which is found in Genesis 2. There are actually 2 creation stories, and in this creation story, which is the one that we're usually the most familiar with, male and female are actually created at the same time. And so there are actually 2 different creation narratives that you find in Genesis. Number 3, you may have picked up in this passage that there is a part where it says, let us make humankind in our image. And that's a really weird thing because we believe that there's only one God. Now, there are a few theories about that. Some people think this was talking about the nature of the Trinity. But probably what it mainly comes down to is that when Genesis was being written, it was in the context of a culture where everybody else believed in multiple gods. And so you can sort of see this tug of war in the writing of the early books of the Bible of what does it look like for Israel to have this one God in this world where people believe that there are a lot of different gods. And so we could go deeper into that, but that is why there's that weird phrasing of let us make humankind in our image. Then, number 4, a good creation. The intention for the world, for all the animals, the plants, and humanity was that we were to be good and that we were supposed to be bearers of God's image here on earth. Now, this differs from other creation stories that take place during that time. There's a ancient Babylonian creation story called Enuma Elish, and in that, a god named Marduk creates humanity out of violence. And the purpose of humanity was to basically bear the burdens of creation so the gods could basically do whatever they wanted. And in this case, we're the people who are made by God, by Yahweh, Elohim. In Genesis, they're made to sort of be God's representatives on earth. That God talks about them having dominion and protecting of the earth. And so creation is meant to be good. And that's an important thing to remember, that out of the chaos, out of all this stuff that rises up, humanity, the world, at its heart is supposed to be something that's good, that reflects the good God that created all of it. Finally, the rhythm of life. Throughout Genesis, there's these stories that basically explain why are things the way that they are. And one of the things they wanted to demonstrate was that the 7th day of the week was a day of rest. And they demonstrate that by having God in this story rest on the 7th day. And so it's reminding us that life has a rhythm, that yes, you do work and you do create and you do all of these things, and those are important, but you also need to rest. And if God rested after creating the earth, then we should rest also. And so the story wants to instill in those who read it the idea of this is what the rhythm of life looks like. So those are the 5 things. Water equals chaos, 2 creation stories, let us make humankind in our image, a good creation, and a rhythm of life. So that's the Bible 101. I hope you have a great time as you continue to dive into this really interesting story, this creation narrative that is found in Genesis 1:1 through 2:4. Thanks.